I'm getting from you today that I would pay off the IRS with $5,000. Oh, shoot. Okay.
Hello and welcome to the Sell a House Wholesale Real Estate Training number 126 on Wednesday, June 10th, 2015. And here I am sitting in front of the title company. I think they're open, but I'm not sure. But I'm planning on going inside, picking up a big fat check, which I'll be more than happy to share the viewing of that with you folks here in just a little bit. So, John, I'm going to let John take this show over here, and I'm going to go see what's going on inside.
Yes, it's very exciting to be doing this live wholesale hangout, real estate wholesale training, where one of the people is going live to pick up a check for about $41,000 and some change. Very excited about that. The story behind this particular deal is we had bought this property. We had this property under contract at $70,000, and we assigned it to another entity that we owned for $100,000. So we assigned it for $30,000 to ourselves. So on paper, we bought it for $100,000 from one entity. So let me run through this. This is a great strategy. This is actual real content, great wholesale strategy. So get out your pens and your papers, and I'm going to go through how this deal worked real quick. So my company, TWP, contracted the property for purchase for $70,000. And we knew we had a pretty good deal here. We looked at the numbers in our market and figured that the average rehab flipper, your average fix and flip guy, would pay about $90,000 for the property. So what we did is, because we were buying it ourselves, we went ahead and we assigned it to another entity, PSR, for $100,000. So we took a hard money loan out on this one. The hard money lender we have is phenomenal. It's 12%, $200 doc prep fees, 1 month minimum interest payment. You can't get much better money than that. So basically, he wants 20% down. So 20% of $100,000 is $20,000, right? Our rehab budget on this, we knew we'd need about $30,000 to do the rehab. So what we did is said, you know where we'll get $30,000 from is TWP got it under contract for $70,000, and we assigned it to our other entity, PSR, for $100,000. So PSR has to come up with $20,000, put it down, and make the purchase. So we have a loan in place against this property for $80,000, but at closing, we got a fat assignment check for $30,000. So basically, we bought this property, got our $20,000 back up front, and another $10,000 to put towards the rehab. So at closing, we had $30,000 to do this rehab. Excellent. So we ran the numbers and we determined, hey, you know what? Let's have one of our wholesalers market it out there to his people who pay. He actually has a niche in the Latino retail market of cash buyers. There's a lot of Mexican families that buy in cash here in Arizona, pay full retail cash for property. So we thought, let's put it out there without doing the rehab for $125 and see what happens. Within 10 minutes of putting this property out there, guess what happened? We sold it for $125. So we had a non-refundable deposit put in place from the person buying it, immediately released to us. So now we still have that $30,000 that we got at the first closing, right? And we then got another $5,000. So we had $35,000. We haven't even done a darn thing to this property yet. And we sold it for $125 without putting a dime into it, and turn around. And now we've got another check coming to us today for $40,000. So we made about $70,000 on this property because we originally had it under contract for $70,000. Awesome stuff. Had we not gotten the offer at $125 for this property, we probably would have then, put the $30,000 in, did the rehab. And in this area of town, it's kind of a transition area to me. I was looking at a resale of about $190, but there's actually, the possibility of $200, $205. But at the end of the day, we did really well, and we actually sold it to a cash investor, and he can go ahead and make money To me, making $70,000 on a property is an awesome, awesome thing. So with that being said, it looks like Paul is back. Did you get a check, Paul?
Well, I have this right here. Let's see what's inside.
And just an FYI, I just basically I dropped some real knowledge down on these people today. I basically told them soup to nuts from start to finish how we actually made about $70,000 on this property, being that we got $30,000 up front and then another $41,000 in that check in your hand today. So actually we made about, because you picked up a $3,000 check or a $5,000 check from this deal on Friday.
3,000.
3,000. So so basically whatever that check is plus 3,000 is what we made on the second closing. I'm I'm chewing my fingertips off, dude. Show the check.
Show the check. Show the check. Show the check. Just got to make sure everything's just so here. Want to make sure everybody gets all the good stuff and not all the wrong stuff, like I tried to do the other day.
Yeah, give away our routing numbers to our bank account, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, so here we go. Da, da, da. What do we see there?
It's a little blurry on my end because you're remote. So what is the actual amount on that bad boy? 41,000.
$41,234.87.
Yep. That's too bad we don't have the other check to show for the $3,000 and the other check we got on the first end for $30,000. That's a pretty damn good payday. I'm very happy with that. And actually, because I don't have a pen. Forget it. I was going to write down that amount because I have to do a spreadsheet on it. But anyways, we'll talk about that in a minute. So excellent. That's good. I'd say that's a great way to start a Wednesday morning or a Wednesday rising is a Wednesday rising is with a nice fat check. And I basically, Paul, if you want to kind of get us into the content today about our new system for each session of the week, basically all I've gone over is how we made that check come to fruition. So why don't you go ahead and kind of lay out our new kind of plan for living our sessions.
So you pretty much told everybody how we made all this money, and we put out, I think we put out $100 actually for about a couple of days, didn't we?
$100, and then I was telling them how we put up $20,000 to make the purchase, but we brought that money in on the day of closing and immediately got that back plus another 10 grand.
Right. Oh, what a lovely thing. Let's see here. What time we got? I got time. Hey, this is I guess it's a car hangout today. So
yeah, you got 20 minutes, buddy.
Yeah, more than. I'm not meeting until 9:30, so I can have breakfast. Anyway, we got well, we were talking about our strong session format and how we have reformulated what we do, what we repeat 52 times a year, that just with the changing of the terminology adds so much power to those 52 7-day periods that we repeat over and over and over again, which to me, the old way is so debilitating and down force upon the human soul, that this is so awesome. So what we do here is, for our repeated 7-day sessions, they are known as strong sessions. A fresh strong session, a new strong session. We start every week. We start over and over again a new strong session that we begin each session with a new op day, which is new opportunity day, and that is culminated with a celebration. What we did was we broke down each day into sort of a formula as to how to best create productivity out of your strong session. and New Op Day being organization day. With organization, out of organization comes opportunity. New Opportunity Day, if you want opportunity to come your way, organize yourself, and guess what? Opportunity will appear. Tuesday is Creation Day. That's the day that you are allowed to work on your business or on yourself or on your, personal development, or you work on things. You create and develop new concepts and ideas, marketing, whatever it is that you're creating, all new stuff. It's Creation Day. You create ways to improve everything around you. Wednesday is Preparation Day. Now you've gotten 2 days in under your belt. You've gotten your whole session sort of organized on New Op Day. On the day before, you created all this new stuff. Now you would think you're going to jump right into it on Wednesday, but there's a little problem here. See, with the standard 7-day format, you're forced to do all of your own personal stuff at the end, on the last 2 days, which on Saturday you have some things open for a limited time that gives you the ability to handle some of those things, but you've got business things that have to happen Monday through Friday during business hours. So Wednesday is Preparation Day for your personal life. Make sure that on Wednesday you get all of those things out of the way so that you're now free for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which is really, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday is like the climax, because you spent these first 3 days getting ready, and now you're able to get out there and experience the climax. And so get everything out of your personal life out of the way, all the stuff for the kids, the wife, the cars, the bills, you name it, all that stuff. And then Thursday's Implementation Day. That's where you take the stuff from Tuesday that you've created and figure out this new stuff, how to get this implemented. Take the stuff from Monday that has to get going, get that implemented. Thursday's the day you get everything started, get the ball in motion, get everything happening, and it rolls at high speed this way. All you do is one little push and it's off and going. And then Friday and Saturday being the culmination of the climax here, where you round it all out and you really make things happen. You close your deals, you do all the things that make you money and make you successful. And then Sunday is Celebration Day. That's the day that you sit back, relax, soak it all in, revel in your success, and do the things that you want to do, whatever that be. If you want to sit on the couch all day and watch the tube, or you want to go out and jump out of an airplane, it's up to you. Celebrate however you want to celebrate for the grand success that you made before. Rejuvenate yourself is what it's really all about, so that come the next New Op Day, you're ready to get out there, reorganize again, start creating again, set yourself up, implement, close, and celebrate.
I like that. And every single day of the session is extremely, extremely important. But you know what? I think what's really important is that if you actually go through and have a really productive, strong, and you've organized, you've created, you've prepared, and you've gone out and you've taken massive, massive action, you owe yourself a celebration day, in my opinion, because this is the day of rejuvenation, of rest, reflection, and you should be able to do that with a clear mind, knowing that you just spent the last 6 days really knocking it out of the park, so to speak. So I love this new system. I believe this is kind of the first week that Paul and I are implementing it. I'd like to, obviously, because it's something new, something a little different, something that we're just jumping on board, I think it might be a couple of sessions until we can really break down to the nuts and bolts about what we truly intend to do on each day with these sessions. But that's okay, because I feel like anything else, once you create the routine, once you create the habit, once you get in the groove, so to speak, I mean, you're off and you're running to the races. So any more comments, Paul, on that before I kind of get into what I want to get into next, and before I do, I want Paul to see if he has any final thought on this here, is I'd like to kind of break down a time management system just as kind of a frame of reference for you for each day of the session, each day of the strong.
No, take it away. I just had a brilliant thought, though, that I'm going to go run out of the car here. Oh, shoot. I can't.
Hey, real quick, you're in front of a Chase Bank, correct?
Yeah.
Do you have your checkbook on you?
Of course.
Well, we'll get into this after the hangout, but we do, out of that closing, owe Mark some money, and he has a Chase Bank account, so you might as well just put the check rate in the Chase account there. And trust me when I say you have it covered.
Yeah, no, I'll deal with that later. I just had a brilliant idea. I was going to go get a picture, but I can't. I'm on my hotspot, and if I take the phone to go get a picture, you'll lose the connection, and this hangout will end. So, yeah, so that plan's out the window.
Okay, I saw you driving. That's why I was like, "Are you leaving?" There's a Chase Bank that could eliminate you having to go back later to do that, or having to meet up with Mark. Anyways, okay, basically what I was going to go into is, like, how Paul and I now have kind of created this new system for laying out the days of our week. And what I'd like to kind of do is lay out a time management system of how you should conduct yourself each day of the I'd use the word week. Each day of the strong. I didn't make this up. This isn't something that Paul and I created. And hell, I don't even follow this to the T. I aspire to get closer and closer to following this time management system I'll share because I think it's brilliant, simple, and quite awesome. And it is, in fact, the Napoleon Hill time management system. And as you guys who've joined us here on these Hangouts know, that we're huge fans of Napoleon Hill. And basically, how many hours are there in a day? 24. So basically, this is kind of a time blocking type of a management system to say, hey, during these 8 hours, because there's 24 hours in a day, you should devote, and this is so critically important, of trying to get at least 7 to 8 hours of restful, deep, good, comfortable, relaxed sleep. I can't stress how important it is to be getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. I was reading an article the other day. I mean, one of the, men, this is important, okay? Especially when you're over 30. One of the leading causes of male impotence is lack of sleep. One of the leading causes of decreased levels of testosterone is lack of sleep. One of the leading causes of illness and the inability to concentrate your thoughts properly is lack of sleep. You know what? Paul, what the heck are you doing out there? Anyway, I can't stress, and it's difficult, and this is my biggest challenge, is getting 8 hours of sleep every night, because I'm a very active thinker. I'm a very active mind. In fact, today, on my preparation day, I'm going to buy new pillows because I need to get my bed more comfortable so I can get better sleep. But it's just so critically important that you become disciplined enough to put yourself to bed. Guys, when I was in my 20s, I was a big party guy, big party guy, drinking, hangovers, 3-4 hours of sleep. And you know what? Wasn't good. I wasn't a very productive person, and I was drinking a lot, and I got in a lot of trouble right before I turned 30 because of drinking. And you know what? I realized that you got to change your life if you want to change your results, right? 8 hours of sleep. I'm beating a dead horse here because I'm actually doing this as auto-suggestion to myself because I still have trouble getting 8 hours of sleep. So you know what? This is like auto-suggestion for me to talk about these concepts. So you've got 8 hours of sleep. Then Napoleon Hill's system says you should block out 8 hours of your day for being productive. What does productivity mean? How are you earning your money? How are you making your living? How are you building your wealth? How are you building your businesses? What have you? There should be 8 hours a day devoted to being extremely productive. If you break down the management system for the 52 sessions a year that Paul and I have kind of broke down, that means for 8 hours a day, you're doing something productive. So on Monday, which is organization day, you're spending 8 hours organizing, whatever it is, organizing things for your business. That could be your plans. For us, it's creating lists for our drivers and our callers. It means organizing documents for title. It means organizing checks or whatever it is. When it's organization day, you've devoted 8 hours to organizing and being productive in your organization. Creation day, same thing. You're devoting 8 hours to the creation of new marketing pieces, new materials, creating systems, creating businesses, creating passive income, creating money. You're spending 8 hours creating. And then Wednesday, preparation day, you're spending 8 hours being as productive as you can in the creation, in the preparation of things. Which, for me today, I need a new car, which Paul just showed you a check, which is going to be buying me that new car. I need a new car. I need new pillows. And I need to organize my finances for the month of June and pay off and make sure all my bills are up to date. Until I have an accountant in place to make sure that all my bills and finances are taken care of, which is my next step, I have to do it myself. Preparation day is the perfect day for that. So I've got 8 hours today to test drive vehicles, get my butt into a Bed Bath & Beyond and get some comfortable pillows, and spend some time, doing my bills and organizing my finances for the week. So, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8 hours. It means I am taking action. I'm going to be out there talking to sellers over the next 3 days. I'm going to be communicating with my team, being their backup to any possible appointments or sellers or anybody that they need to be talking to. I'm being productive in my actions. And then celebration day, that's a whole different animal. We'll break down that on a future hangout. But that's what I mean. So far we talked about blocking out 8 hours of time to get sleep. So you're an optimally functioning, powerful child of God, human being, child of the universe. You got to rejuvenate this machine. And 8 hours being productive in whatever it is your chosen field of work is on whatever particular day of the week it is. And that leaves us 8 other hours. Now we're still talking, there's another 8 hours in the day. And according to Napoleon Hill, and I tend to agree with this, these could be potentially the most important 8 hours of your day. You know what? 3 of these hours are going to be sucked up just in the mere fact of bathroom, eating, driving, answering your mom's phone call. I don't know. You're going to lose 3 hours every day out of these 8 free hours just in normal activity of eating, pissing. You get the point. Anything you want to add here, Paul, before I continue moving forward?
No, I just want to say that, the celebration day is really what it's all about. I mean, that's what you're out there doing all the rest of it for.
Right, exactly. But I think it's important to kind of have a plan for your celebration day as well. But we'll get into that another time. So now we've determined that we've got about 5 additional hours in the day after our productivity, after our sleep, and after about the 3 hours that just kind of gets spent, unavoidably spent doing, things that really aren't productive but necessary. So I like the ideas that Napoleon Hill has. And as I said, I am not a perfect person, but every day in every way, I am getting better and better. I got to get into that in a second, what I just said there. Great affirmation and a great auto suggestion for people to tell themselves every day. But
I know where that came from.
Yep. And actually, the reason I brought it up is because I found out where it really came from. Didn't really come from who you think it came from.
Well, I know where we got it originally.
I know exactly. And then I found it last night. I was listening to the Law of Success series, and they talked about who originated that exact phrase. Kind of an interesting story for a future hangout, maybe.
Cool. Where'd you go?
Be setting aside an hour a day for quiet meditation. This is where you mentally sit down and you spend maybe 10, 12 minutes, and you're thinking about and planning for the achievement of your definite major purpose. And if you don't have a definite major purpose, you need to spend this time figuring out what that is. Wind does not blow in favor of a ship without direction. You will not have a successful life unless you have a definite major purpose to your life. I believe that we live in a world that is full of abundance. There's opportunity for everyone. I think that, don't be a victim. Don't listen to the status quo. Don't listen to what they're telling you in the media and on the news that there's no opportunities out there anymore. That's all BS. That is all the system's way of disempowering people. This is a world of abundance. There is plenty of money, plenty of resources for everyone, and you need to realize that and realize what your definite major purpose is in achieving the life of abundance that every single one of us deserves. And I think Paul would probably agree with that. I hope so. Otherwise, I can't be business partners with you anymore.
Well, if he tells you there's plenty of opportunity, there's plenty of opportunity to spend your money all over town.
Yeah, well, that's not what I'm talking about here. But anyway.
Okay, good. Because I don't like that message.
There's opportunity to have an abundant life full of happiness and joy. Everybody deserves it, and everybody has that right at their fingertips. Anyways, back to this hour of quiet meditation. You spend 10, 12 minutes planning for and thinking about your definite major purpose and how you're going to achieve it. And like I said, if you don't have it, this is the time you spend beginning to really contemplate on who you are and what that may be. Then, 10 to 12 minutes during this hour, you should be in the habit of thinking about what are you doing every day? Why do you get out of bed? But that kind of plays into your definite major purpose. That should be your reason. That should be your why. That should be what gets you out of bed in the morning. Without a definite major purpose or a roadmap or a plan or a goal, why do you get out of bed in the morning? Why? Got to have something to look forward to each day. Then, you should spend 10 to 12 minutes a day thinking and contacting and being in an attitude of gratitude and just thinking about and praying to God if that's what you like, Jesus if that's what you like, the universe if that's what you like. But getting in the habit of tapping into and getting into this attitude of gratitude and spending 10 to 12 minutes of this hour of meditation just to be thankful for all the things that you have in your life. I want to just tell you how freaking powerful this is. I've talked about my friend on these hangouts before that's kind of a negative person, and then they always look to me as this kind of a positive source for them. And the other night I hung out with her last week, and she was, as usual, getting down on herself. Now, for the most part, I refuse and I avoid people like this, like the plague, except that I do think that this person has been in my life for 10 years. They've always supported me. They've always believed in me, and they always complimented me and looked to me as someone, as a beacon of hope and positivity in their life. And they're really a positive person on the core, but because of their history, and I know them well, they're prone to bouts of depression. And I don't know, I kind of look at her as my guinea pig, so to speak, to test out these different positive concepts. So we were hanging out last Thursday, and I don't even know if I shared this with you, Paul, and she was getting down, and I think you know who I'm talking about anyways. Yep. And she was getting down on herself, and I was elated. I was in a great mood, and I just thought of this attitude of gratitude because what she was doing was talking about things that were going wrong. So I basically said, well, what's going right in your life? She started talking about what's going right. And I said, this sounds goofy, but let's spend 15 minutes together right now. And I'm going to say something I'm thankful for. Then you're going to say something you're thankful for. Literally set the timer on your phone for 15 minutes and let's just go back and forth. I'll say a sentence, you say a sentence, you say a sentence, I say a sentence, back and forth, 15 minutes, right? And by the end of the 15 minutes, the timer went off. We continued to kind of play the game, if you would, for probably another half hour. We just turned the timer off and kept going back and forth. Then we were making jokes and laughing. And the rest of the evening we hung out. Everything she was upset about and complained about, it's as if it went away. It disappeared. And for the rest of the evening, she was in a great mood and we had a blast. And my point is, you don't want to surround yourself with people like that. Particularly want to be surrounding you got to be careful about the people you hang out with. But you know what? You can't discount someone because they have those fits of depression. A lot of people don't have this information. You know what I mean? So that's where I know that spending 10, 15 minutes every day just being thankful for everything in your life, so critically important. You should be doing this every day, even on celebration day. And that's what I was going to say. These 8 hours, these meditations, these different things, you should be doing this on celebration day also. So we also then you should spend maybe 10 to 15 minutes in this hour of meditation just doing self-analysis. And Napoleon Hill says you should spend this time thinking about what your fears are. Think about what your fears are. Confront them in your mind. Don't hide from them. Don't pretend the fears don't exist. Look them in the face and tell them, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, think about ways to overcome these fears. Way to plan it. You know what? I had, at one point in my life, a big fear about getting in front of a group of people. So when I was about 22, I actually played music. I played in bands. I played guitar. And I always felt comfortable on stage as long as I had a guitar and I had long hair because I'd have my head down and the long hair covering my face and I had my guitar in front of me. So I had a shield, right? So that separated me from the crowd and made me feel comfortable. But then I realized that, you know, I'm not that comfortable. I'm not really comfortable to get the hair off my face, put the guitar down and face a crowd of people as me without any barriers, without any protection. So when I was 22, I took a course in public speaking at a community college. And I know that Paul had a very similar fear, and we just did last year, we decided to do a live chat. Now I have no fears in really, I have a slight anxiety, but it's a good anxiety about talking in front of a group of people. Now it's like kind of funny. I get off on it. I'm like, well, when's the next opportunity that I can get everyone looking at me, listening to my words? Part of the reason we do this hangout is to get over that fear, but spend 10 minutes a day thinking about your fears. And the reason I share all this with you is because you want to plan ways in which you can physically do actions to get over these fears. You know what? You're a single guy. I don't know, let's just go to the extremes here. You're a single guy. You're in your mid-20s. You like girls. You can talk to girls, but you always screw up when it becomes getting intimate. Maybe you're even a virgin. Well, guess what? You know, how do you get over that fear? Think about it for 10 minutes. You know what? I'm sick of being single. I'm attracted to women. I want to have a girlfriend, but I clam up. I do this, yada, yada, yada. You know what? There's actually groups for that. There's an alpha male group here in Phoenix that teaches you how to hit on women. You know what? You could plan on saying, I'm going to pick up a book about hitting on women. I'm going to look at, there's plenty of articles about that. I don't know. I'm not afraid of girls, but the reason I got separated from my wife, I was like, I want to be better in my next relationship. I've had a lot of failed relationships in my life. So I started looking at articles and crap about relationships, how to relate better to women and shit like that. And, you know, view them as more as just a sex object, you know? I'm just saying, this is, you know, what's your fear? Your fear of intimacy, your fear of poverty. Confront the fear, acknowledge the fear, and think of ways you can overcome it. Then he says you should spend 10 minutes thinking of ways you can create better harmony in all your relationships. Think about the relationships you have and how you can create better harmony within them. And finally, one of the last things he says that you should do for this hour of meditation, and this is minimum, this hour, it could easily be all day you can do this crap. Focus only on the things you desire. Do not focus on you should never think about the things you don't want, period. But this hour of meditation, this is an auto-suggestion exercise. This is training your brain to be in an attitude of gratitude, to thinking about harmony, to thinking and overcoming your fears, and then the focus on the things that you want. Like, I want a new car. Like, let's pretend you're broke right now and you work at McDonald's, but you want a beautiful home. You want a beautiful wife. You want to have money to make investments. Don't focus on the fact that you work at McDonald's and you're making squat. Don't ever think about that. Get in the habit, spend 10 minutes a day thinking about what it is you do want. I want to have a nice home. I want to have a nice car. I want to be happy. I want to have a good career. And watch how this stuff transforms your life. And guess what? We still haven't even gotten into the other 4 hours of this 5-hour time frame, and we're already 5 minutes over. So I'd love to continue talking about this stuff, but maybe we could continue on Freedom Friday. So, Paul, why don't you kind of give your final thought here on some of the things I said? I know that if you weren't driving right now, I probably wouldn't even have made it this far because you would have had plenty to say, I'm sure.
yeah, there's definitely plenty to add and comment on what you're given, the information you're giving out there, but it is powerful stuff. One thing I just want to throw in, the last piece there about focusing on what you want. There's a very tricky little thing that people have to watch out for, because you can ask a bunch of people, hey, what is it that you want, you know, in a relationship, or, what is it that you want, whatever. And most people will automatically start telling you what they don't want. It's just the way that the mind has been trained to say, oh, I don't want to live in this little crappy house, any big house. Well, stop the I don't want part. Okay, you said you want to live in a nice big house. Go with that only. Dump the I don't want, oh, I don't want in a relationship, I don't want somebody that, stop. When you're thinking about I don't want this, you're thinking about what it is that you don't want. So, and you're going to get more of that. So you really got to retrain the way that your mind thinks about when you get to that point, and really focus in on the what I do want. Eliminate from your thoughts and your words the part about I don't want this and I don't want that. So with that, go ahead and take us out of here, John.
Yes, like I said, come back on Friday, Freedom Friday. I think we'll dive right back into continuing this Napoleon Hill system. We've still got 4 hours of the day here to cover. We talked about how important getting 8 hours of sleep is, how important it is to be productive in your chosen career for 8 hours a day, or if it's preparation day, spending those 8 hours preparing yourself personally for the days ahead, taking massive action on action days. And we also then got into the fact that 3 hours a day are going to just be spent doing the regular things. It's unavoidable. And I talked about breaking down 5 hours of the day to Napoleon Hill system. And we talked about an hour of meditation and went over several things that hour should encompass. So come back Friday. We'll get into some more of this material. This is great life-changing stuff if it's applied. And you know what's awesome about this stuff is that this is a system, this is a model, and this is a blueprint. And anybody can apply this stuff into their lives. And I can tell you firsthand, so can Paul, that you apply this type of stuff in your life, you will feel better, you will see massive results, and it's just unquestionable and crazy how this stuff actually really truly works. So with that being said, oh universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to make better use of the riches that have been given to me at birth, through the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever ends I may desire. So go out, have a great day, and we'll see you back on Freedom Friday.
Bye, everybody.